press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hi students, in the previous session we have discussed on photoelectric effect. In that we have come to know the electron emission, the types of electron emission such as thermionic emission, photoelectric emission, field emission, secondary emission, etc. Now also we have discussed about the some important quantities coming in photoelectric effect such as work function, threshold frequency, threshold wavelength and connected relations, Einstein's photoelectric equation and different forms, and also the concept of photoelectric effect was discovered by Hertz Howe, and also the Lillard's observations and Hallwach observation, all we have discussed in the last class. Today I am taking about the photoelectric effect experiment, laws of photoelectric effect, explanation given by Einstein, and application as a photocell and its uses. That, if time permits, let enter into the numerical problems which are appeared in previous years and on this photoelectric effect. So that photoelectric effect experiment was conducted by Leonard and some conclusion drawn by him called as laws of photoelectric effect. So for this he was considered a vacuum tube. In the vacuum tube, the cathode coated with a sensitive material, and there is a window is provided for the rays to fall on the cathode. Some arrangement is made to make the rays to fall on cathode K, and the emitted electrons coming out of the cathode has to reach the other position and constitute the current for which there is a anode position, and this is kept at higher potential than other at normal conditions by connecting it to a source. Commutator arrangement is made to study the photoelectric effect. To measure the current, a microammeter is connected, and to measure the voltage across the cathode and anode, a voltmeter is connected. For this, a battery is connected across this, and this is the arrangement have. This is the arrangement of the Leonard's experiment. To begin with, let us make this end is negative by connecting the negative potential to that, and other end is made positive at low potential. It is only an attracting voltage, not field emission possible by this voltage what we supplied. However, when the radiations are made, immediately we cannot see the current. When increased the frequency of the incident radiations, photons, above certain value, current immediately begins in that. When radiation is cut off, immediately current stops. The time interval is very short, to the order of 10 power minus 6 to minus 8 seconds. The falling of radiation and emission of electrons and constitution of current. Therefore, in the first statement, he stated photoelectric current is instantaneous. That is, the time interval is around 10 power minus 6 to 10 power minus 8 seconds. Within that interval, current constitutes. So fast the process is. As soon as the radiation is incident on that, having frequency above the threshold, immediately current visible. If you take off the radiation, immediately within no time the current stops. The first observation by conducting experiment, he come to that photoelectric current is so instantaneous. And the second observation what he was did? Increased the frequency. Please remember here and listen, increase the frequency. As the frequency increases, energy of each photon goes on increases, but it does not contribute to more current. Current remains same, even though rising of frequency not affected the photoelectric current for frequency above the threshold. But as he is going on another chance, second option, increasing frequency, current remains constant, no changes at all. But keeping the frequency above the threshold, when intensity is increased, intensity refers to number of photons striking per second per area. So thereby number of photons as increases, it is quite observation made by him that as intensity increases, current goes on increases. If you decrease the intensity, current decreases, but frequency should be above the threshold. Thereby he come to the conclusion that photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of incident radiation. More and more the intensity, the graph may be plotted to understand that no intensity, no radiation, no current, but as intensity goes on increases here, as current also goes on, photoelectric current is also goes on increases, and you will have a straight line curve which suggests the linear variation of photoelectric current with intensity of radiation if the radiation have frequency above the threshold. That was the second conclusion brought by him as a law. Photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity but does not depend on frequency of radiation. But the third observation was that when for any intensity of radiation, when the frequency increases, quite clear current is not increasing. But when goes on decreasing the frequency, observation made was that suddenly at a particular frequency called threshold frequency, below this no photoelectric current for a given metal. Then he was taken the different metals, photosensitive material, and tested that, observed that every metal has its own threshold frequency below which no photoelectric current. That means for every photometal, metal to material, it is different, have a minimum frequency below which no photoelectric emission. Certain frequency below any material, photomaterial, which is able to emit the electrons when we taken in the cathode, as a cathode, every metal has its own frequency, differ from material to material, but below which there is no photoelectric emission. This minimum frequency at which it happens, we call it as a threshold frequency, is confirmed. Then also studied about the kinetic energy, the different thought was made. I can show with a graph here, for instance. So applied voltage and the photoelectric current. What did was slowly the potential applied by this, we are decreasing, keeping the frequency above the threshold, having a definite current in the circuit. There is a definite current observing, frequency is above threshold frequency, but as you are decreasing the applied potential slowly, current is not observed to be changing much. But when you made it zero by disconnecting this, there is a small drop. This is because all the emitted electrons cannot reach the anode. Because of there is a mutual repulsion, some may be escape out of the tube, and percentage of electrons reaching the anode may decrease to some magnitude. But emission is continued as it is earlier. However, because of no attracting potential, no collimating source, because of this non-collimating source here, we are not getting 100% or the majority electrons which were reaching earlier cannot reach the anode and some drop in current. Now reverse the potential. Now what we made is, we made this negative and this positive. That is done by changing this. Reverse potential we applied. Now there is a negative potential and here there is a positive potential. You know the electron has some kinetic energy no doubt at this position and emitted. According to Einstein's photoelectric equation, we have come to know energy of the photon is threshold frequency work function plus kinetic energy. The minimum energy is necessary for the electron to come out of this metal. But however, that has a definite kinetic energy. This kinetic energy with which it can reach the cathode to anode. But as you are increasing this anode negative potential, the opposing energy EV is increasing. The applied potential, reverse potential, which opposes the incoming of electron towards the anode, and as goes on increases the voltage, kinetic energy goes on decreases, but that is not enough to overcome this. And all these electrons started to collect at the anode. Emission is not stopped. We are seeing the cloud of electrons near the cathode, and current may become zero at a particular voltage. The minimum voltage at which this potential, at which the photocurrent becomes zero, we call it as a stopping potential. The stopping potential equivalent of energy, that kinetic energy, now I can write it as half mv maximum square is equal to E into Vs. This energy which stopped the electron here is because of the reason that the energy of the applied potential difference is almost equal to become the kinetic energy, which cannot allow the electrons to reach the anode and make the photocurrent zero. And equivalent potential, we are called it as a stopping potential. When he was studied about this frequency constant, it may be intensity 1 and different intensity. Keeping frequency same, changed the intensity and observed that this current may be decreasing, but stopping potential is not affected. Stopping potential is independent of the intensity of radiation for any intensities. Instead of frequency, if you use the higher frequency and higher intensity, nu2 is greater than nu1. Now it is observed stopping potential also increases. If nu2 is greater than nu1, clearly observed Vs2 is greater than Vs1. Higher potential is necessary if we are used a photons of higher frequency. That means clearly indicates stopping potential is directly proportional to the frequency of the incident radiation. Because of stopping potential is directly proportional to kinetic energy is also proportional to the frequency of incident radiation. These are the conclusions brought by Lennox, and now we are calling these conclusions of the photoelectric experiment as loss of photoelectric emission. ಏನು ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಟೋಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇದರ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಥಿಯರಿ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೂ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್, ಈಗ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆನ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಫೋಟೋಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅಬೌವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದೇ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು ವಿಚ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್, ಅಬೌವ್ ದಿ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಲೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್, ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಬಂದರೆ ಮೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದಿ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ 4 laws. photoelectric current is proportional to the intensity of incident radiation, and also the second, photoelectric current is most instantaneous, and third, for every photometal there is a minimum frequency below which no photoelectric emission called threshold frequency. It is different for different material, and stopping potential and kinetic energy both are directly proportional to frequency, but both are not depends on the intensity. ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವು ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ಸ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಿ ದಿ ಹೌ graphical picture which is helping you to solve the problems in entrance, and also the Einstein's explanation. ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಎಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ one concept we already discussed, that is photoelectric current versus intensity. Intensity of incident radiation versus photocurrent. You come to know that it is almost linear. As intensity increases, photocurrent increases, directly proportional to intensity. And IP does not depend on frequency, only depends on intensity, photoelectric current, but not on the frequency. The second graph, discuss the graph I will take. So we have taken the photoelectric current versus the stopping potential. Voltage applied as decreases, maybe if you taken the different intensities, I1 and I2 may be different, frequency is the same, then stopping potential is same, no changes at all. Suppose if you taken if it is a frequency 1, so this intensity may be different, and this frequency is nu2, which is made greater than nu1, and quite observation shows that the photocurrent is appeared to be increased, stopping potential, which suggests Vs2 is greater than Vs1, since nu2 is greater than nu1. ಇದನ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಮೂರನೇದ್ದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ. ಇದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿರಿ. ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಹರ್ಟ್ಸ್. You know, according to the photoelectric equation, kinetic energy equal to work function, incident energy minus h nu naught. This is a work function, but as a frequency, it is almost equal to a linear equation. Frequency up to the threshold, no photoelectric current, no electrons emission up to certain frequency called nu naught. ಕರೆಂಟು ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ವರೆಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ಲೆಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಾಲೋಸ್ ದಿ ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್ y equal to mx plus c, as the frequency increases above this a linear curve appears, and if we extended this curve backward, it will meet the kinetic energy or y-axis, which gives the value of work function. And as we are seeing here, y is equal to mx plus of minus c. If I write like this, flux gives the y-intercept gives you the work function, x-intercept gives you nu naught threshold frequency, y-intercept gives you the work function, which is equal to h nu naught, and slope gives you the h value, the Planck's constant. because this M is resembling here. The slope of the kinetic energy versus frequency curve gives you this. In case of kinetic energy versus frequency, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. I think I remove this. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರೀತೇನೆ, ತೊಂದರೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. So I take here the curve. I take another curve here. So this another important graph you appeared in your entrance is stopping potential versus frequency. Graph appears to be same up to nu naught. There is no emission of electrons. Stopping potential talking is meaningless. After that, it is again a linear curve. And if you go for the y-intercept, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ x-intercept ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಬಂದರೆ x-intercept ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂ ನಾಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. y-intercept ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೈ ಇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ದಿಸ್. ಅಥವಾ y-intercept ನಿಮಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ y-intercept into E. Y-intercept into E gives you the ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಎಂ ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಕೆ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ y-intercept ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೆ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ ಕೆ ಇಂಟು ಇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ h/e ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ h ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಇಂಟು ಇ ಮಾಡಿ. ದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಎರಡು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. h ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಇಂಟು ಇ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಯು ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ h ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿ ಎಸ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು y-intercept ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬೈ ಇ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಸ್. ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ನಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಬಂದರೆ x-intercept ನಿಮಗೆ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ, y-intercept ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಪ್ಲಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ಎಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಬೈ ಇ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಏನು y-intercept ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಯು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ ಇ. ಇದು ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸಾಲ್ವಿಂಗ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಿ ದಿಸ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶಾಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So coming to the other part is second part, Einstein's explanation on photoelectric effect on the basis of quantum theory of radiation. So it's quite clear to you that maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons is equal to incident energy minus this. We have this relation as a photoelectric equation on the basis of quantum theory. What the assumption made or explanation was given by Einstein that there are number of electrons in the photosensitive material. They are bound to the material minimum energy required, that we are called already as a work function. So when radiation strikes, it behaves not continuous, individual photon, discrete packets of energy having h nu. When it gets absorbed by the electron, part of it is used as the to liberate from the metal, and remaining maximally available as a kinetic energy maximum ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು equation ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಈಗ law number 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ photo current is instantaneous. Instantaneous ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ only the possibility is so quick ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ it should be a elastic collision between two particles like photon and electron. If it is continuously absorbed ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ discrete packets ಇರದೇ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಫಿಷಿಯೆಂಟ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಬಂದು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು. ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು. ಎರಡನೇದು ಟೈಮ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೊಡೆದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋವಾಗತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸರಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಚಾಕ್ ಪೀಸಿಂದ ಹೊಡೆದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ನೋವಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಬೈದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಏನು ಬೈದ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಬೈಯೋದು ವೇವ್ ನೇಚರ್, ಚಾಕ್ ಪೀಸಿಂದ ಹೊಡೆದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೋವಾಗೋದು ಅದು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ನೇಚರ್. ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ನೇಚರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಷನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟೇನಿಯಸ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ it must be an highly elastic collision between two particles where the radiation is not continuous. It behave like a quantum particle like photon, and that photon when strikes with electron can give this nature. Photoelectric emission instantaneous ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ radiation is discrete in terms of streams of photons ಅಲ್ಲಿನೇ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಎರಡನೇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಿ ಫೋಟೋ ಕರೆಂಟ್ is proportional to intensity. ಈ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೂ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಥಿಯರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಚುವಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಫೋಟೋ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಟು ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಟಾನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪರ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ವೇರ್ E is the energy of each photon, h nu. The observation already clear. Increasing frequency, only energy of the photons increases. That is quite clear here. As energy of photon increases, only kinetic energy can increase but not increases the current. This also clears one photon, one electron collision. Maximum possibility is as many photons, as many electrons may emit. Maximum I am saying, not 100%. So intensity increases means number of photons striking per second increases. As intensity is proportional to the number of photons, more the photons, more intensity, more the photons, more the photons, more the collision, more the collision, more the emission of electrons, more emission of electrons, more the photoelectric current. That was the explanation given by the Einstein. The third you come to know again, stopping potential, kinetic energy concern. I can write kinetic energy equal to h into nu minus nu naught, this equation. For any frequency greater than nu naught, no doubt there is a definite kinetic energy possible. We agree. For every photometal, there is a frequency called threshold. Any increase in frequency increases the kinetic energy. That as nu increases, kinetic energy increases because threshold being a constant for the given material. For a photometal, it is remains constant. As increase the frequency, kinetic energy increases. This also makes stopping potential to increase, because already we know kinetic energy of the electrons is equal to EVS. Kinetic energy is proportional to the stopping potential, because of which as frequency increases, kinetic energy increases, also stopping potential increases. However, because of the reason this is constant, frequency above threshold. But if the frequency become less than threshold, IP becomes 0, no photoelectric emission. The reason is this is become negative. When nu become less than nu naught, kinetic energy cannot be negative in mechanics. Half mv square, when you take v square is positive, mass of the particle is positive, therefore acceptance of the negative kinetic energy has no meaning. Therefore, frequency cannot below threshold. This also gives you for every metal where there is a threshold frequency, below which there is no photoelectric emission. Energy is not enough to take off from the surface. These are some explanation given by the Einstein about the loss of photoelectric effect. ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟೇನಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ collision between particles ಆದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. Particle and wave cannot give this such a instantaneous emission of electrons. Therefore, we have to believe radiations are nothing but streams of photons having definite energy. Out of that, part is used to come out of the surface and remaining as a maximum kinetic energy. As the number of intensity increases, photon number increases. As number of photons increases, each photon collides with each electron individually. Therefore, number of electrons emission increases. As number of electrons increases, current increases. But frequency increasing can only increase the kinetic energy but not the intensity. As frequency above the threshold, definite kinetic energy. As you increase the frequency, kinetic energy increases, stopping potential also increases. But if the frequency go below threshold, then there is no possibility of emission of current, because kinetic energy negative is more abstract. So these are the conclusions drawn, and you have the equations. Before going to the numerical, just application as a photo cell for your reference I have taken, but the principle under which they are working may come in the entrance. I am taking that, then I come to the problem section. So coming to the third part as a photoelectric cell or photocell. So the very word implies photo is a light, electric is connected to the electrical current. Light energy converting into electric energy by some device. That device is called as a photocell. This device, it is a device that converts light energy into electrical energy. So they are of three types. Number one called as photoemissive cell. Principle under which it is working is, it is more important for your entrance concern if question appear. Principle is photoelectric emission. For this, it is coated with a photosensitive material. There is an anode point and this cathode. and entirely this system is bound in the closed vacuum space is made, glass or quartz bulb, and this in turn connected to a source. The voltage that we are coming from this can be drawn as a output. This is called as a photoemissive cell, works on the principle of photoelectric emission. So what so far we discussed is followed here correctly. That this is a photosensitive material coated with the cathode, which is kept at negative potential, and this is made positive. As the radiations above threshold frequency nu greater than nu naught are incident, photoelectrons are liberated. As it is kept at the positive potential, the electrons which are emitted by the cathode are collected by the anode and constitutes a current flow here. These electrons go back and continuously the available electrons to the back by this battery potential. Hence, any number of electrons emitted cannot become the positive. It remains at neutral conditions because receiving back the electrons. And continue as long as the radiation is on, whose frequency is above threshold of this, then continuously we can get the current. Current into voltage is current into resistance. This is the photoelectric current into resistance of this gives you the output voltage. We can draw it, used for any practical purpose. ಏನು ನಾವು ಫೋಟೋಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಫೋಟೋಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ, ಆ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇದು ಒನ್. ದಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್. In photoconductive cell, the principle is different. Principal conductivity of semiconductors is directly proportional to temperature of material. So in this there are three layers, very thin layers. One is made of silver coating, semiconductor material like selenium, and here the base is iron used. All the three in millimeter thickness is complete, and there are electrical connection terminals are provided, and this take to the output as we receive the electrons from the other end. ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ವಿ ಡ್ರಾ. So applied potential cannot create the current in this. There is no chance of field emission by that. But semiconductor, you know that as the temperature of the semiconductor increases, resistance decreases, but conductivity increases. Conductivity is directly proportional to the temperature of the material, semiconducting material. As the radiations are falling on this selenium material, so because of its temperature increases, earlier the resistance of selenium material was high before incident of radiation. As the incident of radiation increases, its resistance decreases because of increase of temperature. Resistance decreases or conductivity increases. As it starts conducting, so this battery potential make the electron to cross and electrons started to move here. Because of conducting ability of semiconductor increases due to the rise of temperature. Rise of temperature is done using the radiation of suitable frequencies to incident on that. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಫೋಟೋ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಎಮಿಸಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್, ಫೋಟೋ ವೋಲ್ಟಾಯಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಜನರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತಲೂ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ವಿಚ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಜನರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಮೂರು ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್, ದಿ ಅದರ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಯೂಪ್ರಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾಪರ್. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಜನರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಆಫ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ. Cuprous oxide is making the electrons to reach this end. Electrons are accumulating on this. And here this becoming positive because copper is a good donor, as it gives the positive charge is appearing on this. If you connect it with an external resistance, the output may be drawn. So the voltage across the semiconductor that develops is directly proportional to the intensity of radiation. Photovoltaic, here no additional source is necessary as like in photoconductive or photoemissive cell. Here it directly gives the voltage, output voltage directly because of connection it is electrons started to move. When you give the frequency suitable radiation, then cuprous oxide, which is semiconducting material, now started to give the electrons to the gold, which is an acceptor. But donor is present at below because here this becoming more negative and negative. Because of giving the electrons by the copper, it is going on becoming positive. There is a potential difference across the gold and copper starts. Because of more the intensity of radiation, more the drifting of electrons from copper to gold take place. And as more electrons reaching the gold from the copper, gold is becoming more negative and copper becoming more positive. Voltage generated across the device. If you connect with the external wire, then current may be constituted and across the resistance we can take the output. Across the load ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ voltage across the device or semiconductor is proportional to intensity of radiation. More the radiation, more the intensity of radiation, more the voltage develops. That is why without external source it gets voltage across the device. That is name put forth as self-generating cell. ಏನು ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ರೇಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಈ ಕಾಪರ್ನಿಂದ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಕಾಪರ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವೋಲ್ಟಾಯಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇದು ಮೂರು ಟೈಪ್. ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಟು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್, ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ voltage across the semiconductor developed is proportional to the intensity of incident radiation. Applications concerned, we have discussed in detail almost. So one, to compare intensity of different sources. Intensity of light in different sources in compare ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಬರ್ಗ್ಲರ್ ಅಲಾರಾಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಸ್ವಿಚಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. So there are such applications, we have many. ಸಿನಿಮಾಟೋಗ್ರಫಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಸ್ಮೋಕ್ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಷಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಜನರಲಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸಾಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಎಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಆದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಚುವಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನ್ಯೂಮರಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿದರೆ, ಫೋಟೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್, we are entering to numerical problems. The first equation work function anta bandaga h nu naught or hc by lambda naught. ಎರಡನೇದು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಫೋಟಾನ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ h nu or hc by lambda ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. But one thing you can use here, this relation directly to calculate the energy in EV, where lambda is in angstrom. Lambda angstrom allidre energy in electron volt direct baritade. 12,400 is the value measured in electron volts, hc value. Hc value in electron volt we have taken. Third, half mv square maximum equal to EVS, where Vs refers to stopping potential. Fourth one, if it is a photocell, here there is a source. You know, intensity is proportional to current, but intensity depends on D. More the distance, intensity is inversely proportional to D square. As the distance of the source from this photocell increases, intensity decreases at square term, current also decreases at the square term. And even in this, more importantly, you have power of a bulb, that energy total emitted per second, or N into Hc by lambda T, when they give in terms of watt the value. And sixth one, our kinetic energy equal to h nu minus h nu naught, or hc into 1 by lambda minus 1 by lambda, or kinetic energy equal to energy minus work function. Photoelectric equation. Keeping these in mind, we have to see the problems. We start with that. Simple questions on work function. Please note down this formulae, importantly, on which the questions appear. So the problem number 1, calculate maximum velocity of photoelectrons accelerated through a potential difference of 10 power 4 volts. So the question, you have to get the maximum velocity of photoelectrons accelerated through a potential difference. you are knowing that whenever an electron is accelerated through some potential difference, this electron may gain or lose the kinetic energy, which is maximally it can have equal to EV, where V is the potential difference. Question is on velocity maximum. When asked about that, 2 into EV divided by m, 2 EV by m. So knowing the values, 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, stopping potential they given as 10 power 4, mass of electron is 10 power minus 31. So 9.1 approximately you can bring it out as 3. ಇದನ್ನ 16 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇದು 10 ಪವರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ 20 ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು 16 ಆದರೆ 16 ಹೊರಗೆ ತಂದರೆ 4, ಇದು 2√2 ಅಂತಲೇ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇದು ಮೈನಸ್ 20 ಮೈನಸ್ 31 ಮೇಲ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದರೆ 31, 31 4 35, 35ನಲ್ಲಿ 20 ಹೋದರೆ 15 ಉಳಿತು. ಸಾರಿ 35 20 ಹೋದರೆ 15, ಅದನ್ನು 14 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದನ್ನು √20 ಅನ್ನ 14 ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 10 power 7. 20 we can write 4 into around 4.2 by 3 into 10 power 7. 4 4 just 16 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ 5 point something into 10 power 7 ಮೀಟರ್ ಪರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ಏನು ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದರೆ 5.9 ಇದೆ. ಇದು ನಮಗಿರೋ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಒಂದು ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅವರು ಎಕ್ಸಲರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು EVS. So let us go to the second question. Electron is at rest in a and is accelerated to a potential difference of 200 volt. Applied across cathode and anode. If velocity of electrons is 8.4 into 10 power 6 meter per second, find specific charge of electron. So the question, if you read there, electron is at rest accelerated through a potential difference of 200 volt. Let us think it is the 200 volt given. If velocity of the electrons maximum given is 8.4 into 10 power 6 meter per second. Question is on specific charge, means E by M is called specific charge. Any charge particle, specific charge we define as a ratio of the charge particles charge to mass. Charge to mass ratio of the particle is a specific charge of that particle. Vs and V maximum given E by M asking means our relation is same. Half M V maximum square is equal to EV. Yes. E by M ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ specific charge. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ E by M ಆ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿಯುವಂಥದ್ದು V maximum square divided by 2e vs into 2, sorry, vs ಈ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ E by m equal to 8.4 into 8.4 2 times. ಇದನ್ನು 2 ಸರಿ ಬರೆಯೋದ್ರಿಂದ 10 power 12 divided by 2 into 9 into 10 power minus 31. So it is approximately, if you simplified, it is around 8 times, 9 times. It is 4 times if you simplify. 18 comes to be 10 power minus 31 cancel ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 12. 2 accelerated potential, sorry, E by m ಬರ್ದಿದೆ. Two into Vs is a 200. ಇದು 400 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 8 8 just 64. 64 4 ತೆಗೆದಾಗ 1.76 into 10 power 11 ಕೂಲಂ per kg. ಇದು 2 0 ತೆಗಿರಿ 10 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 64 ಅಂದರೆ 17 point something. Coming to the third problem. An electron enters into a magnetic field of induction 1 into 10 power minus 2 Tesla with velocity 1 into 10 power 7 meter per second and deflects into a circular path of radius 6 into 10 power minus 3 meter. Find the specific charge of electron. See, an electron enters into a magnetic field of induction. There may be a magnetic field which is acting perpendicular to the plane. An electron enters with some velocity, they given 10 power 7 meter per second. Here B is 10 power minus 2 Tesla. As it enters, it entered and start to describe a circle of definite radius r, whose value is given 6 into 10 power minus 3 meter. Question is on E by m is how much? E by m ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. E by m ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ, as it describe a circle, our mind has to run towards the circular motion. The force that the electron experience in the magnetic field entered perpendicular, therefore BeV sin 90, BQV sin 90 theta is equal to circular force describing a circle. Now this 90, this V cancels here. E by m retained, E by m ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ V by BR. V ಇದು ಇದೆ, E ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಉಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತದೆ, m ಈ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು V ಉಳಿದಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ B ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ, ಇದು R. ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ V ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 10 power 7 divided by r ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 6 into 10 power minus 3 ಹಾಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ b is 10 power minus 2 12 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದನ್ನ 10 by 6 into 10 power 11 ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬೋದು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ 6 ones 40 ಉಳಿತದೆ 6 7 into 10 power 11 coulomb per kg is the specific charge. So I hope you are followed. This relation is important here. Centripetal force provided by the magnetic force to describe the circle as it enters perpendicular to the magnetic field. Let us see the next one. An electron beam moving with a speed of 2.5 into 10 power 7 meter per second enters into a magnetic field of 4 into 10 power minus 3 Tesla directed perpendicular to its direction of motion. Find the value of electric field so that electron moves undeflected. So here there is a force, an electron beam moving with a speed, velocity given 2.5 into 10 power 7 meter per second, and strength of the magnetic field in which it is moving is 10 power minus 3 Tesla perpendicular ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅವರು electric field strength ಅನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ perpendicular. Already in Lorentz force ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. Velocity is equal to E by B or electric field equal to BV. That directly can apply here. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ V ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, B ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, electric field ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, perpendicular act ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಗ electric field ಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ 4 into 10 power minus 3 into 2.5 into 10 power 7. ಸೊ ಇದು 10 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 10 power 8 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಹೋದ್ರೆ 10 power 5 Newton per meter, Newton per coulomb. ಸೊ ಅದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ E ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Electric field given the velocity and also the magnetic field. ಇಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ electrical force. ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ತಗೊಂಡೇವೆ ಅನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ, electrical force is E into E. That should cancel ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ B E V sin 90 because it is entered perpendicular to its electric field. ಆಗ Eಗೆ E ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, sin 90 ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ E is equal to BV. ಆ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. An alternate thought for this. Coming to the next question. A monoenergetic electron beam with a speed of 5.2 into 10 power 6 meter per second enters into a magnetic field of 3 into 10 power minus 4 Tesla directed normal to the beam. Find the radius of the circle traced by the beam. Take E by M equal to 1.76 into 10 power 11 coulomb per kg. So this value given, specific charge, speed given 5.2 into 10 power 6 meter per second, magnetic field value given 3 into 10 power minus 4 Tesla. Question is on radius of the circle. As it enters the magnetic field, perpendicular, it describes a circle. Necessary centripetal force mv square by r is given by the BeV sin 90. Here V cancels. You are asking about the radius of the circular path, mv upon Be. This I can write as V upon B into E by M, because they given E by M value. So velocity is a 5.2 into 10 power 6 by 3 into 10 power 4 into 1.76 into 10 power 11. So 17 3s are 51 approximately. Therefore, it cancels. 11 plus 4, 15. 10 power minus 4, I think. Minus 4, okay. Minus 4 hodre 5 uditade. So 6, 7. 7 udidre it is a 0.1 meter. That's the answer. ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ R ಅಂದರೆ ME upon BE, but E by M ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ I written in this form and substituted here. So next one, calculate the energy of photon of wavelength 4000 angstrom in electron volt and joule. ಇಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಜೋಲ್ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಟಾನ್ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಇ ವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ಒನ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ದಿಸ್. ಇದನ್ನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ 12,400 by 4,000, 12.4 by 4, 3.1 electron volt, that is in electron volt. Electron volt we are converting into joules by multiplying with this 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. 16 ones are 16. 48 plus 1, 4.96 into 10 power minus 19 joules. Joules. ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದೆ. ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Next, a monochromatic. Source of light operating at 200 watts, emits 4 into 10 power 20 photons per second. Find wavelength of light. See, again we are using for this because they given the source of operating power ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 200 watts ಕೊಟ್ಟುಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮಗೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಬ್ಡಾ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಪವರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 200 watts. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ಆನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಬ್ಡಾ. So the power of the bulb is total energy NE by T, NHC by lambda into T. Lambda ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ NHC by PT. ನಂಬರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 4 into 10 power 20. H is known to us 6.6 into 10 power minus 34. C is 3 into 10 power 8. Divided by power given 200 watts per second. So the lambda approximately, if you estimate, here it is 2 remains 6 jar 2 to 3 motor, approximately 400 into 10 power minus 9 meter or 400 nanometer. So the power of the bulb giving number of photons per second, how much is given in that. ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Additionally I tell you, so the given wavelength is 400 angstrom. Sometimes problems comes, they say the energy or photoelectric effect ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾವ ರೇಂಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ವಿಸಿಬಲ್ ರೇಂಜ್ ಇದನ್ನೇ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ ವಿಸಿಬಲ್ ರೇಂಜ್ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ is between 4,000 to approximately ಒಂದು 7,000 angstrom ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ 3.1 ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು 12,400 divided by 7,000 if you did, it is a 12.4 by 7. 7 ones are 7, approximate 8 EV. That means 1.8 EV to energy concern, 3.1 EV lies in the visible region. ಇದು ಒಂದು additionally note ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Energy of the photon is 1.8 EV to 3.1 EV, then it is in the visible region ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. With this I conclude now. In the next class we discuss the remaining problems of this photoelectric effect.